Megaman, Maverick Hunter X.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Megaman Maverick Hunter X. In the last part, we watched the Day of Sigma after finishing the Vial campaign, and now it's time for us to start the X campaign, which is technically the campaign I had to record first, because, you know, you don't get the other two things until you beat X mode. Thus, Vial is not in the character select where you only have normal and hard mode. However, I'm playing X on hard mode just to make him a bit different from the original LP.
Beginning the mission.
X, there's a high probability that the insurgency there was caused by Mavericks.
Mavericks? This must be Sigma's work.
And the game begins, and starting off, the Ruined Highway is almost the exact same as X. You don't have your dash like you did at the start of X1, because, you know, like with Metroid Zero Mission, this is a remake of the first game, so they kind of have to implement you getting the dash again. One thing that X has seen a significant boost in, though, compared to the original Super Nintendo game, and I can't tell if it's due to the screen resolution, is his firing rate is absurdly faster for me for some reason. However, to counter that, it almost feels like he has less health in the remake, to start off at least. It might just be a visual thing due to how much less of the screen one individual health point takes up there on the top left. But I also think things are just overall damage boosted in general. Mind you, I'm playing on hard mode, so it is partially accentuated by that, but even on normal mode, it feels like X takes a bit too much damage at the start. Which admittedly does help with a good power progression system. With the more hard tanks you get, it makes you feel stronger, but The B-Bladers, I didn't mention this as Vial, they feel like they actually take a bit longer in Maverick Hunter X to take out no matter what difficulty you're playing on. But I think that might just be a visual thing fooling my eyes due to the fact that, due to the 2.5D perspective, the stage has enough more depth that it feels like the movement they make for every shot feels lesser. And admittedly, that's the thing that's happened in a lot of other 2.5D remakes. Like, even though Richter's walking speed in the Dracula X Chronicles is the exact same as the original Rondo Blood, he feels slower due to the 3D animation. That's actually something that was very similar to... well, what Sonic game did that? Was it Sonic 4, I think? I forget it. It's been a while since I remember that whole thing happening with the physics and that. One thing you don't want to do in this version, like I did in the original LP, though, do not take as much damage as you can prior to getting to where the Vial fight is at the end of the Ruined Highway. Because the first primary change to Maverick Hunter X, besides the whole graphical overhaul, is at that fight, so make sure to have as much possible health as you can.
Vial, I should have known you'd be involved in Sigma's rebellion.
Rebellion? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just here to cause trouble for you. I hate you.
Hope you're ready, X!
Vile is now an actual boss fight. He can kill you, and you have to kill him to beat the stage. For veteran players like myself, that was a bit of a noob trap the first time through, because I was expecting to, get captured when I was low in health, but no, you actually do have to take him out. A full charge shot on either difficulty will worm down his health really quickly. But otherwise, in terms of his attacks, he runs all over the place and shoots his little paralyzing projectile at you to run into you.
You underestimated me. I hate that about you. X, there's nothing you can do. I'll defeat you and Sigma. Then I'll change the world.
X, are you alright?
Zero. Why would someone as powerful as you align yourself with X? He's just a B-class hunter, nothing more.
Vile, you're nothing but a Maverick now. Zero, what happened to Vile? All I know is that he's our enemy now. X, I'm gonna stay on Sigma's trail a bit longer. You get back to Hunter Base and take it easy. Gotcha. Let's hook up again later. Zero. Thanks. You saved me again.
Large-scale Mavericks have been detected in various locations.
Oh no! They must work for Sigma!
It looks like the rebellion has begun.
We'd better put a stop to them before we go after Sigma.
And thus we have access to our 8 Mavericks once again, all here. And I didn't really comment on the redesigns during the Vile playthrough, but I love every single redesign the main 8 Mavericks got. It makes them feel a lot more, not robotic, but heavy and militaric, I believe, I guess. They feel like they'd be actual threats compared to the kind of silliness of the original X1 designs. With that said, though, I'm not going after Chill Penguin first due to a small change in the game's structure.
Flame Mammoth.
Which means I think for the first time in all of my LPs of Mega Man X, all 2 of them prior, we actually get to see Flame Mammoth stage before it's frozen. And it's actually a lot more lethal this way, because while I don't think the lava on the floor is instant kill, when we get to the large open area with all of the med tools and the weird minor enemies, they can... what will happen is that there's these giant fireballs that burst out of the lava, and those are instant kill. However, time for the first major stage design difference in Maverick Hunter X. This up here.
My name is Thomas Light. This is a message for X. I entrust the future to you.
Light? I think I know this guy.
If you've come across this capsule, I fear you must be in the midst of a difficult battle. I have left 4 powers for you to inherit. I believe that you will use them in the cause of justice. Here you will find the foot parts. Equip the parts you find in this capsule and you will gain the ability to dash. Use this power to steer the future in the right direction. I trust in you, my dear X.
Now, those who played the original Mega Man X will remember that is the capsule where the Buster parts were in the original game. Now, it's the foot parts. The major stage design differences in Maverick Hunter X are that when it comes to all the light capsules, they have been rotated. Flame Mammoth is now the dash parts, Storm Penguin. Chill Penguin is now the helmet, Storm Eagle is now the body parts, and Sting Chameleon is now the buster parts. And they actually change a couple of items in terms of the way you access them so that you need another power to get it. For instance, in the original Mega Man X, you could come to Flame Mammoth stage after Chill Penguin and be able to get the sub-tank up here, but now we can't because you need the helmet parts to get it instead of the helmet or the foot parts. It forces a bit more level revisiting, but honestly, the stages go by so quickly in X1 that I don't really mind it, because backtracking only really became a real large annoyance in the Mega Man X series when the stages started getting towards the longer side, like in X4 or 5. Particularly X5 and 6, though, come to mind, looking at you alternate pathways. On the whole, though, honestly, out of all the stages that change depending on what order you take on the bosses in, Flame Mammoth's change is the most helpful in terms of damage reduction, but it doesn't change the stage design at all, around it all, really, as opposed to, say, some early parts of Spark Mandrill, or especially that one section in Stin Chameleon stage. With that said, though, time for Flame Mammoth.
I was wondering who would show up. I didn't expect a B-class hunter like you.
What are you doing, Flame Mammoth? Don't be stupid!
There's nothing I love more than stomping weak little blabbermouths like you into dust.
That settles it. You're definitely a Maverick.
Here we go!
However, because we're on hard mode, the bosses are going to be a bit different this time around, because this move's new. As I mentioned during the Vile playthrough, every single one of the 8 Mavericks, and I think basically every other boss in the game, except for maybe Vile, has a new attack to supplement the hard difficulty. Flame Mammoths is these little blue fires that he usually fires somewhere between 4 and 6 of them in a row at various distances, either short, intermediate distance, or very far away from him, that take up almost the entirety of the vertical section of the screen, so you need to be able to dodge that effectively, because, well, if it's not obvious by the fact that, you know, it's a new hard mode attack, it hurts. I'm not entirely sure what the major difference is with hard mode. I think it's just enemies do more damage to you, and they might have slightly more health. It feels like it's more just a damage buff, though, because Jesus Christ, that was over half my health from touch damage alone. Hard mode, though, aside from the new attacks, it doesn't really change the core game that much. You don't really need to try new strategies or anything. You more or less just need to learn the patterns a bit faster and dodge more effectively, and I think they might be a bit more aggressive when attacking.
Mission accomplished.
Flame Mammoth is no real issue, though. And hey, unlike Vile, we actually get our weapon get screen this time. As usual, we get Fire Wave from Flame Mammoth, which is a little short-range fire flamethrower, which can do decent damage, although it's nowhere near as useful as it was in the original Mega Man X, because the damage it does has been reduced even at the tip of the the flamethrower. With that said, though, now we're heading after Chill Penguin because we have the dash boots, and I just want to get those out of the way first.
Chill Penguin.
That was honestly probably the thing that was the hardest to adapt to when I first played Maverick Hunter X, going after Flame Mammoth before Chill Penguin. Because Chill Penguin was always just that boss I gravitated to first, even before I knew he was like the easiest boss to Mega Buster, and before I realized, you know, I should probably get the dash boots. But this does present us with the ability to get everything in Chill Penguin's stage on the first visit, because the location of the heart tank in this stage has not changed at all. However, the light capsule has changed locations. It's still in the same same stage, obviously. In fact, I can say for a fact, every stage still has the same items within it, just that the locations might have been changed around a little bit.
The head parts await you within this capsule. Equip the parts you find inside here, and you will gain the ability to smash blocks with your head. I'm counting on you, X. You are humanity's last hope.
Yay, the most useless helmet upgrade in the series. I still do not really like this, even though I love the design of the helmet in X1. But yeah, now we can destroy certain blocks with our head, just like the ones blocking the sub-tank in Flame Mammoth stage, which is why we're actually going to be backtracking there at the end of the part to get that. In terms of who voices Dr. Light for Maverick Hunter X, I think his name is Randall Weeb, something like that. More or less, I only know him for his Mega Man roles, because he voiced Dr. Light in this X8 powered up, and I think he was that platypus character, Gadil, I think, in Command Mission. Which, you know, he does a damn good voice. In fact, his Dr. Light and X8 in particular is the voice I try to emulate in my own Dr. Light impression, so I guess that's something. Either way, we're going to ditch the right armor early because now we can actually get the heart tank up here first try. It does feel like those things have a bit more health, but again, that might just be due to the fact that I believe Fire Wave's damage potential has been nerfed compared to the original. Which I honestly think is a rare exception, because even though I don't use too many of the special weapons in this game, I almost feel like most of them have had their damage buffed. One in particular I know has been buffed. But I'll get into that next part when we get that weapon. As for now, it's time for Chill Penguin.
Chill Penguin, why have you sided with Sigma?
Sigma has paid for the use of my power. Working for him is a million times better than piddling around on a South Pole with nothing to do.
How could you? What Sigma's doing is treasonous.
You're finished!
Chill Penguin is actually one of the more annoying bosses on hard mode, especially if you go after him first. Because his new hard mode move is potentially one of the hardest to avoid. What it is it's kind of similar to his normal little ice fire attack he does on the floor, where he just kind of fires forward a couple of little ice bolts, but he does it while jumping, aiming at the opposite wall. And when they hit the wall, all three of them will split off into various different trajectories with little icicles. Basically, it's actually basically the shotgun ice ability, now that I think about it. And all of the pieces of it can do an absurd amount of damage to early game X. It is ridiculous. I think they might even do over half the starting health. No, it's about a fourth of it, but still, that is kind of, it's deadly. On the whole, though, even though I died to him, Chill Penguin on hard mode isn't much harder than it used to be. If you want to avoid the new hard mode attack, just dash in the direction they're going, because there's a safe spot underneath all three of them. But yeah, that's Chill Penguin. Nothing too special still. Though I do like the little detail that the arena is basically just a glorified igloo. And for beating Chill Penguin, we once again get the shotgun ice ability, which, as with the original game, is a bit of an ice thing that you fire forward, and when it hits an enemy or a wall, will split off like a shotgun in, I think it's 5 directions in the opposite, 5 trajectories in the opposite direction. There we go. It's, I think its damage was also boosted, and it's honestly not too bad. However, before we head on off to after our next Maverick, I want to return to Flame Mammoth stage for a couple of things. One, to show you guys what the ice looks like now. You can now just walk in the lava, as usual. And back in the open section, we got 2 items to get. The heart tank is still in the very bottom right on top of the lava. I believe unless you take a hit intentionally from one of these mine guys, you can't get that beforehand. And now that we have the helmet parts, we can get the sub-tank in this stage. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 7, we're going to be continuing on as X, taking out a couple more Mavericks along the way. See you guys then.